We're here at the interview studio of TheWrap at the Sundance Film Festival 2016 with my good friends, longtime colleagues, Michael Barker and Tom Bernard, who know everything, have seen it all, done it all in the, I'd say, in the film world in general, but most particularly in the independent film world. Tell us about the films that you have here.
Miles Ahead is directed, starring, produced, and written by Don Cheadle about Miles Davis, and it's quite a
plays Miles
spectacular
Davis.
film.
Actually, plays the trumpet.
Yeah, it's
really.
Oh yeah, it's
not like
real,
Miles Davis.
I was going to say
yeah.
that's a dangerous comparison to try to put yourself up against.
No, he's a real. It's a real tour de force for Don Cheadle, and the film is just so great. And then the other film is Maggie's Plan, which is written and directed by Rebecca Miller, and it stars Greta Gerwig, Ethan Hawke, and Julianne Moore. And what's so wonderful about that movie is that it's light, and what I'm sure you're finding in the sea of movies is how heavy and dark they are.
Yeah.
So it was what was great about Maggie's Plan. You could feel people feeling a kind of breath of fresh air because it was light.
Yeah, right.
But also meaningful. I mean, it's a really strong movie.
We were talking about there being a lot of films that have to do with sort of masculinity in America and sort of understanding what it means to be a man in contemporary society today.
I think you can go more specific than that, and it's not just Sundance, but I'm noticing it in plays and books now. Hamilton being a great example. It's not just about masculinity and identity with regards to that, but it's also about the American character of masculinity, and it's such a contradiction in terms and very rich, you know, and you see that in these movies.
How do you guys feel? You know, you've seen ups and downs. I've been coming to Sundance over the better part of 20 years, not here every year. You guys have been coming longer than that. But we've all seen sort of lots of ups and downs in the marketplace. We saw like crazy bidding war time, and then you saw sort of the bottom fall out of it, and the early part of the 21st century has been really, really challenged, and you guys have figured out a path. Now we're seeing these streaming giants come in with big, big checkbooks. Today we had the news that Amazon has bought this hot Kenny Lonergan movie, Manchester by the Sea, which, by the way, is not like blockbuster movie. It's kind of a slow New England Kenny Lonergan movie.
Well, we'll see who gets the Happy Texas Award this year. You know, it's
right. You see, right?
You never know.
By which, explain the Happy Texas Award.
No, every year there's lots of new companies that come to Sundance, and they have to sort of show they're in business, and they will put down maybe more money than a movie might be worth and grab a really big headline. And sometimes those movies work, a lot of times they don't.
Much more often than
not.
But
the headline is there,
right?
and it's sort of, everyone's sort of taken aback when that much money changes hands. And
Well,
there was a couple last year.
Well, what also happens year in, year out, which is always surprising to me, is that we're in this bubble for 12 days.
Right.
And the big, like 3 or 4 films get the big headlines. But then a year later, when you analyze which are the films that prevailed commercially, it's very rarely those 3 or 4 films that were the ones that were touted the most during the festival. It's very important to understand who we are. What we have learned over the years is to focus on the film that we want to release, and understand when we acquire a film or when we invest in a screenplay, we invest our souls in it, and it's a lot. It's a huge time commitment, and the key is to focus on the film and kind of not think about who the competitor is when you're going after it. They're always competitors.
Yeah.
It's just a different set now.
Right.
And sometimes are more difficult than others. But the fact of the matter is, if you focus on what you can contribute to the film, and you sell yourself to the filmmaker and the seller, and give them the valid reasons to go with you, what they're really investing in is our ability to make that film work. And that's really, we try to not obsess on the distractions.
Well, thank you, Michael Barker, Tom Bernard. We're looking forward to working with you guys as we have for all these years, and we look forward to all the films that you're bringing to the world. Thank you very much.